Okay, I think it's 11 o'clock U.S. Eastern Time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to the Niagara Marketplace Content Spotlight, Tridium Talk for August 14th, 2025. My name is Carlo Jan, and I'm the new Niagara Marketplace Manager for Tridium, and I'll be moderating today's session. So welcome, everyone. Um, we will first kick off the talk with an overview of the marketplace value proposition. Then I'll hand the meeting over to Aaron Mason of Hawkeye Energy Solutions, who will showcase the newest content, the Clockworks FDD service product, which is currently available for purchase in the Niagara Marketplace. Before we started, a few words on housekeeping. Remember, all guests can ask questions through the Zoom Q&A tool on the and we will answer them as we go along. And then, of course, there'll be some time afterwards to ask questions again as well. Also, we're doing something different. I'm going to include two surveys to gauge the effectiveness of the Tridium Talk and the overall experience on the marketplace. These surveys help us capture information that will allow us to be more effective in meeting your needs. So please, if you could fill them out, they'll do us a great help. The links will be attached to the chat box. So thank you for that. Lastly, the Tridium Talk will be recorded and published on the Tridium's official website in the next couple of days. So before we start the product presentation and the demo, let's go through an overview of the marketplace and the mission and purpose of the Niagara e-commerce platform. For those of you who are not familiar with the Niagara Marketplace, it is a platform that brings developers and system integrators together. It's a space where developers can offer Niagara solutions to the system integrators. Oftentimes, it is hard for integrators to find the right Niagara solution and enhancements on the market because there isn't just a single source where you can find them all, right? We're all busy and we got other things to do. And so similarly for the developers as well, they struggle with the marketing and selling and licensing solutions of their own, right? They're busy developing their products. So go-to-market strategies and marketing is not there for their expertise. So in the marketplace, we close the gap by bringing the system integrators and developers together through a user-friendly e-commerce website. It allows the developers to reach our entire Niagara community, which is substantial, and accelerates the go-to-market process. So whether you are a buyer or a seller, Niagara Marketplace creates value for you. It offers easy access to Niagara solutions and enhancements such as alarms, drivers, graphics, histories, just to mention a few. The Marketplace also offers a wide range of powerful tools for buyers and sellers. On one hand, if you're a seller, you have your own store that you can customize. You can publish your listings, run reports, and communicate to the customers through the marketplace. On the other hand, if you're a buyer, you can browse through multiple categories offered to you, and try certain products on a trial basis for 7 days for free. You can also manage your licenses in the marketplace, find the host ID, and even re-trigger the license if needed. All this in a one-stop shop. So we're excited to announce that we're growing. We typically have about 9,000 people visiting the site on a monthly basis. Currently, we have 27 active sellers and over 100 listings to create value for the Niagara community. So if you're looking for Niagara solutions and enhancements, go to niagaramarketplace.com and sign up. If you're looking to sell your Niagara solutions and enhancements, go to niagaramarketplace.com and apply to become a seller. So with that being said, let me introduce Aaron Mason, who will showcase Clockworks FDD service from Hawkeye Energy Solutions. Aaron, take it away.
Thank you very much, Carlo, for that introduction. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Hopefully everybody can see the presentation. Okay. So like I said, my name is Aaron Mason. I'm the Director of Operations for Hawkeye Energy Solutions. Thank you for being here today. Hawkeye is a team of engineers and software developers, and we focus on the smart buildings and utility metering space. One of the frameworks that we focus on is the Niagara framework. And the slide that you're showing here, it shows a number of our different products that we've developed over the years. We've been developing in Niagara for about 8 to 9 years. And many of these products you can find on the marketplace currently. The one that we're here to talk about is one of our latest offerings, and that is down here in the bottom left-hand corner is the Clockworks FDD service. Um, and uh, it's a new module that we created that allows people to seamlessly integrate their Clockworks Analytics FDD results back into Niagara. Now, before we get into the module itself and the service and how it works, I thought it would be helpful just to give a quick overview of what Clockworks is. A lot of times when we present on this new module of ours, some people are familiar with Clockworks, others aren't that familiar with it. So basically, what Clockworks is, it's an analytics platform. It's an industry leading platform. It's one of the best in the industry, and it focuses on buildings in the HVAC market. And the data streams from Niagara or your building automation system into their cloud environment. It generates fault detection diagnostics amongst a host of other analytical results. And the real focus of Clockworks is the smarter facilities management. And there's a link right there if you want to go check out what they are. But that's in a sense what Clockworks is. And so it's generating all these FTD results and all these analytics. What the sort of architecture might look like if you're using Clockworks is the data sort of streams from the buildings into your local area network, and then it goes through a data service into the Clockworks environment. You also typically are going to have some visualization for your building automation system, whether that's a single supervisor, whether you're in the cloud. There's a lot of different models for that, but in general, your data is kind of going a number of different ways. And so this would be typically how you would set up your Clockworks environment if you adopted that software. And what we're sort of changing with this module is that currently, if you're adopting this, you have to go to the Clockworks portal online. We'll go through that in just a second to view your FTD results. But what we're talking about is a little bit of a change between the previous slide and this one, where now we're actually going to be able to visualize some high-level Clockworks information right in our building automation system. And that's really what this integration is about, and that's the value that's driven from its development. So like I said, Clockworks has a portal. It's got an online portal where you'll go and view your FDD results. It's really advanced. It's got an advanced API that we're utilizing to make this module happen and this service happen in Niagara. And not only does it have just your basic interaction with your FDD results, but it's got a whole host of different ways to analyze the data that comes from your building automation system to help you make your facilities smarter. And so the question kind of becomes like, okay, it's got all this capability. What's the value of creating this service and visualizing some of this in Niagara as opposed to just going to the Clockworks portal? And so the value of it really comes down to that seamlessly being able to integrate and connect things together so that we can have a more ease of operation and basically enhance the workflow that we might have in our current system, in our campus, in our environment, in our organization. And that's where this FDD service comes in. It's a service that installs right in your Niagara environment and connects to the Clockworks API and allows you to easily visualize your diagnostics. One of the things that we find when we work with any type of analytical package, the value of it is really driven from driving action. If you've got any type of analytical package or FDD result driven software, if you're not driving action from it, its value is significantly reduced. And so the value of this new Clockworks FDD service in Niagara is enhancing and opening up the ability for these FDD results to be visualized a little bit more easily. and by more people. Typically, what we've seen in the industry is that you've got a lot of people using the BAS system. That's the window to how the building is managed, and it's how you see how your smart building is performing. It's how you go and look at how things are working right now today. And so there's a lot of different people involved in visualizing it through the building automation system, everywhere from maintenance folks all the way up to C-level suite positions as well. Oftentimes are viewing things through the building automation system. And on the flip side, you've got the Clockworks Analytics portal, which is really deep and has a lot of content in it and a lot of capabilities. And but typically what we see is there's a smaller number of people that are interacting with that particular site. There's a Clockworks champion typically on site, and the results kind of flow down from there. So by offering the ability to see some high level information, it opens up this ease of access, which will result in more traction and interaction, and actually completing more tasks and solving problems on site. The other thing that we see in these types of FDD environments is that an FDD result might get generated, but then there's an analysis period of time that it takes before you actually take some type of action and create a task and do something. And so what we've found in working with Clockworks and building automation systems is that there's typically a lot of back and forth that happens from when a diagnostic is generated, you're in Clockworks, you move to the building automation system, you move back to Clockworks, and then back to the BAS system. And sort of there's this cycle that kind of happens. And so through some ease of access, we think that this module will really help reduce some analysis effort through this integration. So that's sort of the why as to why this module adds value and why it was created. And we've seen that already through some of the partners that are using it. So with that, what I really want to spend most of the time on was really looking at a live demo of how this works and how it can be added to your existing system. So through the live demo, we're going to go through, how it's installed, how it automatically discovers your sites and assets. We're going to talk about how once it's installed, you really have instant access to graphics and navigation that can, in an hour or so, can be set up on your existing system. We're going to talk about how you can integrate this new module with your existing graphics. We're going to talk about the web widgets and their options, and ultimately show how you can relativize these widgets across your existing BAS system. So with that, I'm going to exit out of this. And so I'm going to start off in Workbench. So like any other service that we've put out there, you're going to install the Clockworks service in your services container. And once you drag and drop it into here, you'll basically just open up the property sheet and be able to type in, you'll have to work with Clockworks on this to get your site ID and then make the connection to the API. But once you do that, basically all your buildings that you have in your Clockworks account are going to automatically be discovered, and they're going to populate in this service. So you don't really have to do anything else other than enter your information and hit go, and that discovery process will begin. What it does is it pulls in all your buildings and then all your assets that are defined in your Clockworks account underneath that particular building. And then in each one of these particular pieces of assets and the buildings, you'll have some proxy point information under here that you'll be able to automatically look at, and discover, and integrate to your system. What we see on the right-hand side is a standard PX graphical view you might have, really kind of just basic, showing the fundamentals. And what you can easily do right out of the gate, if you don't want to actually edit any of your existing PX graphics, is if you simply just double click on the Clockworks FDD service, you get this default view. And this, I'm showing this in Workbench. I could easily switch to the web view. And without doing anything, without actually integrating anything to your existing graphics, you instantly have this dashboard available that you can just hyperlink from your existing graphics, where you can see a high-level overview of your avoidable costs, what tasks you have open, what your diagnostic count is, what your total avoidable cost is. And then you have some navigational abilities built right into this. So again, when I talk about sort of instant graphics, as soon as you install the service, you could just hyperlink right to this particular service view, and you can see some high level information, but you can also start to drill down into other things as well. Now, this is giving you the overview of all your buildings, but you can easily navigate to any of the other buildings and see the particular card that we have developed for that particular building. And then from a standpoint of navigating between these different aspects, what you can easily do here is you can take a diagnostic that you're interested in, and you can expand it down. It'll give you a little bit more information about that particular diagnostic. And then we've got these really convenient hyperlinks that can send you right back to Clockworks. So, and this is where, when we talk about ease of access and enhancing that, you might see a diagnostic in here through your building automation system. Then you may want to go and hyperlink right to that into Clockworks so that we can visualize that specific diagnostic and be able to drill down into it even further. So what you're seeing now is the Clockworks portal. So now I've easily gone from Niagara, now I'm in Clockworks, and I can drill down into Clockworks with more information from here. And so when we talk about being able to enable just quick navigation, this is kind of what I'm talking about. And the same thing happens for tasks as well. If you're browsing Niagara, you may want to understand what tasks people are working on for a specific piece of equipment or a building. And so again, we're enabling the ability to be able to see that really easily and seamlessly through your BIS system. And you can use this hyperlink as well to go right to that particular task in Clockworks through their portal and be able to update that task and manage it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, these are the graphics that are enabled like instantly right off the bat. But like I said earlier, you can integrate these to your existing graphics really easily as well. And so let's take a look at what that looks like. So like I said, this might be a really simple PX graphic that you might have. And if we want to go ahead and add this, add Clockworks to this particular overview page for this hospital per se. Give this a second here. Okay, while that's working, oh, there it goes. Okay, just a little slow today. So what we can do is we can drag a building over just right from the service. And what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to go ahead and make a widget, and it'll automatically allow you to do a Clockworks building view. So you click OK. And that'll add right to your, it's a web widget that you can add right to your existing graphics. And then from here, you've got some customization that you can do on this particular widget. But it's just easy as drag and drop. Couple of things that you can do customization wise is this is the same kind of card that you're seeing up here. Is you're able to open up the property sheet on this particular widget, and there's properties that you can set that will allow you to customize this particular widget for graphical viewing. And I apologize, my system just seems to be a little bit slow today. So what we can do on this widget is we can go ahead and hide certain variables. So right now what you're seeing is you're seeing the number of open tasks that you have in Clockworks, you're seeing the number of diagnostics, the avoidable cost. And what we can easily do is we can hide or how you can hide costs, we can hide diagnostics, we can hide tasks, and we can change it into an icon view instead. And there's some other features that we can do in terms of the fonts and padding and other things you do to make it, accessible to or cohesive with your existing graphical environment. What we're showing here is like the icon view, and this is just a real simple way to sort of show Clockworks and have an easy access to it on your system, because what we kind of recognize is that we didn't want people to have to, you know, make major changes to their existing graphics in order to utilize this tool. We wanted to have some flexibility. And so you can put this large card, you can cut it down to certain things, and you can also have just this really simple icon view that you can put on any particular page. If we switch back to the web and see how this particular system looks, let me go to this and go to here. Imagine you've got a campus overview, you navigate to your particular building that you want to look at, and the functionality that these graphics allow you to do is not only just to be able to see that card, but now from your building automation system, you can click on the diagnostics link, and you're able to just navigate and go in and out to different aspects of your Clockworks system. And the same thing happens for the icon view card that's available. You can click on this, it expands outward, and then you can begin to go and navigate through and take a closer look at your high level Clockworks information. So truly trying to make it pretty seamless on existing basic PX stuff. This also would work really well and seamless to integrate to more advanced graphical packages, such as if you're using like Reflow or our new Boost PX graphics that we've developed, where things have a more HTML card-like view. And so what you're seeing here is the new Boost PX, and you can see that the FDD results are just one of the other kind of cards that are available in this particular system. And so it really is, kind of seamless when it comes to integrating with all different types of graphical packages that are available. If we go back to what we were just looking at here, not only can you just put these at the building level view, but you can also drill down and go into the asset level view as well. So if you click on a particular page like this, say we go to Air Handler 1, when you add these graphics in, you can also just drag and drop in any particular asset that you want into the PX page, and it'll give you a Clockworks card that is solely just for that particular piece of equipment. You can also relativize this, and so we have slots that are available so that you can relativize this based on equipment name. And so if you've got 100 VAV boxes in a space and you only want to show fault detection and diagnostic high-level results for that particular VAV, you can easily do that across your graphics. And so again, just giving you a lot of flexibility when it comes to being able to visualize these things. If you don't like these cards that we've developed, that are sort of allow you to instantly have this navigation and everything, if they don't fit with the look and feel, you can also integrate just the raw point data into your existing graphics as well. Now, this doesn't help you with sort of the navigational enhancements that you get from this, but what it does allow you to do is be able to just at least show information either at the asset level or building level for your Clockworks FDD results. And so what we've done in this box down here below is we've just created some bound labels that link back to the data that's available in the FDD service. And so we can see that there as well. And you could just have another bound label with a hyperlink that goes to the particular card and then could integrate back to the FDD service, hyperlink back to it from there. So again, just a lot of flexibility when it comes to the graphics that we have for this integration. And so that's basically it from a functionality perspective, from a high level overview perspective on what's possible with these different types of systems. And that's really why we created this module, was to just be able to have a little bit more insight into how the FDD results are being viewed, and allow that to be more integrated to your existing BAS system. And what we're finding so far from people that are using it is that, normal operators that are operating buildings now have more insight that they can easily access, and then it's also drawing them back into the Clockworks environment more. Previously, instead of just, being asked to go to Clockworks and look at the fault detection for a piece of equipment, instead, what we're finding is that operators that are using this, what's happening is they might see it, it might catch their eye in the BAS system, and it gives them just enough information that they say, you know what, I would like to see a little bit more information and a deeper dive. And so they're clicking that link and it's taking them to Clockworks. They log in and they're right at that diagnostic and they can start to interact with it in Clockworks a little bit more from that perspective. So with that, I want to go back to the presentation really quick, just a few final slides, and then we can have questions and answers if there are any. The first thing I wanted to go over was options and costs for the Clockworks service in Niagara. So the way that we've got this set up is it's licensed by building count. And so what this means is that if you've got a Clockworks account already for a number of buildings, your license would be based on how many buildings you want to actually integrate to your BAS system. If you've got, 20 buildings that are in your Clockworks account, but you only want to view the Clockworks information in the BAS in let's say a couple of buildings, one or two, you only need to buy the license that is for the number of buildings that you want to integrate to the BAS system. So there's flexibility from that perspective, but ultimately, the number of buildings that you want to visualize this in is really what the licensing is based on. And our first tier goes with the 5 building count, which, so if you've got 5 buildings or less, you get a single buy price. What that does is that covers you for the end of time that service will continue to operate. And then there is a yearly maintenance that is required if you want to subscribe to new updates and new module enhancements that happen. I know Clockworks is constantly always working on updating and improving their API, and so they have a lot of functionality enhancements that we're planning to integrate to future releases of the module. And so we're going to keep up with that, and so if that is something that you guys need, then that yearly maintenance comes along with your initial cost. And it scales all the way up to unlimited, so that allows you to give you the ability to scale up and down as you see fit. We also have a single building add cost. So if you've got 5 buildings and you just want to add one additional one, you don't have to buy a whole new license to do that. So again, trying to keep it kind of flexible. And finally, just a quick word on the roadmap. So the beta testing began in 2024. We had 2 large sites, one large school district and one university that went through beta testing for a good period of a year. We went through multiple rounds of improvements and really got to see how we thought it would work best in different environments. And we initially launched this on the marketplace in July of 2025. Our future roadmap for 2026 includes adding some custom reporting features. So the ability to look at a piece of equipment and run a report and grab information such as, number of tasks that have been completed on it and what they were, a high-level overview of how many different analytical checks that have been done, a building scorecard reports and things like that are available in Clockworks. So we're planning on doing that. And then also Clockworks is going to also have API updates that are coming through. They've already had some big major improvements recently, and so we're going to make sure that we adopt those the best that we can in 2026. And then we're excited about feedback from users that are using the service and things they like about it, and things maybe future enhancements that need to be integrated from that perspective. And so that's kind of what the intermediate roadmap looks like for us in maintaining this module and adding more features of it as things go along. And so that's basically it. I would say this: if you're new to Clockworks and you want to reach out to them, best place to do is go to their website, hit the demo button up on the right-hand corner. There's a form you can fill out, and those guys are really, really sharp at getting back to you to set up some information, set up a demo or something that you guys can interact with. So definitely check that out. And with that, I guess we'll open it up for questions. Does anybody have anything in particular we can delve into?
And we just got a question from Fred asking if the FDD results are based on the ASHRAE 36 guidelines. Are you able to confirm that? Or is that something that would be with Clockworks?
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a complicated question in the sense that what Clockworks is going to be doing is the Clockworks analytical FDD algorithms are going to be based on whatever your sequence is for your facility currently. And so if your sequence is programmed around the ASHRAE guideline 36, then yes, the FDD results that you get from that are going to be based on ASHRAE guideline 36. It's not going to take a look at your sequence and tell you all the things that it's doing wrong in order to meet guideline 36. And so hopefully that clarifies that particular question.
Fred, I hope that answers. Is there any other questions?
Okay. Doesn't sound like there's
Actually,
any. Oh,
we do. We
yeah, go ahead.
got one that just came through. Let's see. Chad is asking, can you create new Clockworks items part of this module, or does that need to be created in Clockworks?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so the assets and the buildings and everything have to be created in Clockworks first. And then the module that we have in Niagara subscribes and discovers that information from the Clockworks API. Although I will say there has been some discussion and thought about, that concept of being able to use this API to basically transmit setup information from your BAS into Clockworks such that onboarding process can be automated. And that's a something that's been talked about as a workflow enhancement, and I know that Clockworks is contemplating that as well.
Okay, I think that wraps up all questions.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for your time today. Hopefully you found this useful. Feel free to reach out to us or Clockworks if you have questions. We're here, happy to set up more deep dive demos. If anybody needs to take a look at this in more detail, happy to do so. And thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Aaron, for the great demo. This will conclude the Tridium talk, and the recording will be available in the next couple of days in the Tridium official website. I think I'm sharing my screen at the moment. Am I? So thank you all for joining.
You are
We'll
not,
try to.
Carlo.
Oh, let me do that right now. Okay. Yes. So everyone, go to the Tridium Talk website. You can find the previous Tridium talks as well. So this will be available in a couple of days. This was recorded. We try to do these like at least once every quarter. So please, and I wasn't available the chat box wasn't available on the Zoom version. So I'm going to send the surveys separately on a separate email. So if you could, please fill them up. They'll go a long way for us to gauge our effectiveness for both the Tridium talks themselves and the marketplace, your experience with it as well. It will be extremely valuable for us. But once again, thank you for the great demonstrators. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hawkeye Energy Solutions. Thank you for all the SIs and the developers that attended. We'll talk again soon. Be on the lookout for the next invite for the next Tridium Talk. Appreciate it. Enjoy your day. Thank you.